Lucky 56.
Now a play fake here on first down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
That was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? Second and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that'll make it second down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Even though that one was incomplete, you could see the training that went into that play. He gets out of the pocket, ends up moving to his right. All he's trying to do, though, extend the life of the play. Keep it alive, hoping someone would pop free.
Was able to take a pretty good shot with a deep ball, but incomplete. Third down, he'll drop to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 38. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10. They start out with a run by Ferguson. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. That's a good way to start the drive, 17 yards and a first down.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On first, again, they go with Ferguson. And down inside the 35, he goes to the 32-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
A second down carry for Ferguson. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. Ferguson on 3rd and short. And the broken tackle helps lead to a first down gain. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. If you make the stop there, maybe you hold them to 3 on this opening drive. They didn't get the stop.
Yeah, new set of downs now. Now you're worried about, just as you pointed out, not just giving up 3, possibly giving up 6. Let's see what they decide to do here, because they've got to change up what they have been doing. It hasn't been working.
Steps away to his left. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll make it a 2nd down. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
Here's carry number 1 for Jordan Howard. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Now with the play clock down to 2, we're going to get a timeout here. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on 3rd down.
Watch it now, Barney. Barney. Gun, gun. Gun, gun. Gun, gun. Gun, gun. Watch it now, Barney. Barney.
They'll look to throw. Dancing to his left. He may try and run for this. Give him 8 yards that time on the scramble, and now 4th down.
I liked his effort there. He got it done on his own. But let's face it, he puts defenses in a really stressful spot when he takes off and runs, because a lot of guys have coverage responsibilities.
Good job of rallying, though, because I thought when he first took off, he might pick up the 1st down. It would be a very makeable field goal try from here, but instead they're going to go for it.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Now on 4th and inches, they're going to want to talk this over. We get a timeout. And that's their 2nd charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining. The field goal unit's going to stay put on the sideline. They're going to go on 4th down here.
Detroit! Detroit!
They'll try with Ferguson, and he will have the 1st down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. They only needed a few inches, and they didn't get much more than that, but by about the width of a shoelace, they convert on 4th down. This will be their first trip to the red zone. 1st and 10 at the 19.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll set up a throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 19. Accelerating, and off he goes. And he is going to score. It's a pick-6 and a Bills touchdown.
Now that was a beautiful play. A pick-6. How would you punctuate something like that, partner?
What do you mean, with an exclamation mark?
Exclamation mark, a big word. What would you do with that?
Ampersand?
I like it.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 7-0. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. Fielded about a yard deep. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number one goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number two goal is win your division. Number three goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. They'll come out throwing here on first down. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and ended up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going.
Back line it up, Philly. Here we go. 49 to fight.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. Nowhere to go. Here he lost the football. And the Bills have recovered.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, these are going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
First trip to the red zone for the Bills. They've got it first and goal at the 6. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Flushed out right. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter about to get underway with the Bills in possession. And they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving. Second and goal from the 1.
No. Check. Patriot.
They'll give it to him up the middle. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Buffalo. A great effort there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bills will add on to their lead. And his kick is good. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Houston. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
Over.
On first down, Ferguson. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. On the handoff, this is Ferguson. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. They got 2 of the 3 they needed there. It leaves them with 3rd and just a yard.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off at the 40. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. Well, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw? And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. They're going to look to throw. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on 1st down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Now let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90. No. Check. Patriot. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Watch him now, Barney. Hot.
They'll set up to throw. Eluding the pressure right. He's going to let this go deep. And this is caught inside the 5. And oh, so close as he takes it all the way to the 2-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Detroit!
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown,
you want 2.
You're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got 1, but was denied as he tried to get the 2nd one.
He'll get it up the middle, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll make it 3rd and goal.
Leopard! Watch him now, Barney!
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
Now, this feels like old-school football because this has turned into a good old-fashioned goal line stand. So on offense, what do you do now? Do you decide to run it or throw it if you go for it on 4th down?
So it's an old-school extra point that counts 3 times. It's certainly a disappointment they weren't able to get it in the end zone.
Yeah, I can just imagine post-game, head coach looking at the box score, 19-yard field goal, grimacing a little bit, but having to realize that at that moment, getting 3 points was vital. Go ahead and get the points, put them on the board.
And now out comes Houston. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Try to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Being chased out left. Now he'll let it go. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Houston. A big play there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And his guys get the quick strike touchdown. No problem there on the extra point, and that'll cut the lead to 17-7. So the lead back down to 10 as things get a little more interesting, and the kick is away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he will take it back only to about the 13-yard line here.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive, almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
Set! 319! 319! Watch him now, Barney! Barney! Gun! 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 Gun!
Watch twist! Watch twist!
And they'll go on the ground. And brought down, but not before they're able to get it up to the 25. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
Detroit!
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Detroit!
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Flush to his right. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. Now a stoppage here as we've got a Bill shaken up on the play. We'll check on his status when we return to Orchard Park. Second and 6, just inside the 30.
All right, here we go. Blue 90! Blue 90! Gun! 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 Gun!
And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a first down.
Detroit!
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Yeah, he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a first down. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. So a minute 56 to play in this first half. Back to Buffalo after this. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the pickup. And all of a sudden here, it's third down.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
The Bills on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90. No. Check. Patriot. Watch it now, Barney. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
And they'll run it here. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. It'll be called a gain of 2, and that'll leave him with some options here on 4th and inches.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Watch him now, Barney. Punt! Over! Back 99 Philly, here we go!
Now on 4th and inches, they're going to want to talk this over. We get a timeout, as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. It'll be from the right hash, and it'll be a 36-yarder. And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will open the lead up now to 20-7. Still a little bit of time left here in the 2nd quarter, but they do get 3 before the half and expand that lead.
And they have to be happy about that, and we haven't met a team yet that doesn't put an emphasis on trying to get points on the board in the last 2 minutes of a half. They'll be real excited to have those up on the board.
And now out comes Houston. And with time quickly fading here in the 2nd quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
No. Check. Patriot. Gun. Watch him now, Barney.
They go play action here on 1st down. Going deep for Hopkins. It got his man complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. That one goes for 36 yards.
Gun. Detroit.
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Going deep for Hopkins. And nearly picked it off. He had a chance to come down with that in the end zone, but it'll wind up just being incomplete. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. This will be from 56 yards out. That's on target, but it's no good. He had it on line, but it came up just shy of the crossbar. So we've reached halftime here in Orchard Park, with the Bills taking the lead into the break. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, fielded about a yard deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And now out comes Houston. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the 2nd half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the 2nd half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. They go with Howard to begin the drive. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Lucky 56.
They go with Howard again. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold.
No, Jack, Patriot!
Again, it's Howard. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. He'll wind up getting 11 on that one. And it'll be 3rd down.
Look, the first down marker is out there, but sometimes it's hard to find for an offense when they're in a long yardage situation, which usually means throw the football. In this case, they went against the tendency and ran it. And boy, the reward was there. A big pickup. And guess what? It's now 3rd and very short in order to try and pick up a first down.
Gun!
On play action, they'll throw. Rolling to his right. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game.
Gun!
They'll drop to throw. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call. Well, they'll get the yardage, but they hate to see him take that hit.
You're always trying to cool off a big-time guy throwing the ball, but you have to know when to back off, pull up, and not hit him. There's the penalty.
So now a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 after roughing the passer.
Back 99 Philly, here we go!
They'll pitch it out to Ferguson. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Detroit! Gun!
Now back to throw. Going top shelf for Smith. This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown, Houston. A big play there. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And his guys are able to make this a close game again. That's the score you felt they had to have here in the 3rd quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there was an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
So here comes the kickoff, and what now is just a 1-score, 6-point game. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So here's the Bills offense now. They get ready for their first possession of the 2nd half. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try and increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, You're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And oh, look at that, a diving catch. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 23 yards on the play. So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive.
No. Check. Patriot. Gun. Over.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback as he's got this down inside the 40 to the 39. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. They're just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Gun.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. The Bills passing game, getting them down the field. They've got another 1st down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or
better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into it.
And this is caught for a Bills touchdown. In for the score. And the Bills will extend their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this 3rd quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
Leopard! Here we go now. Blue 90!
They'll try and run it up the middle. And he is into the end zone to bump the lead up 2 more. And so they run it in on the 2-point try. And it's so often, Charles, we talk about from the offense's perspective what you do on the 2-point conversion. How about the defense? How do they play run versus pass?
It's really difficult for them because I think most teams want to play for the pass. That's what they see most teams do. And so are you able to mass enough people inside if the team decides to run it? Very difficult. I think what you're seeing a lot more now, people blitzing the 2-point conversion. They want you to make a quick decision and make it right now.
There, the offense wins the battle for 2.
Detroit! Over!
He'll drop to throw. Escaping the pressure right. Now he's going to throw it back deep. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. That one goes for 36 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on 1st down. Huge differences we know between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Right back to Ferguson. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. They give them 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he gets it down close to the 10-yard line. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
Toss play, Ferguson, and that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. Back now here on EA Sports as we are set to bring you the home stretch here, the 4th quarter. This offense so far on 3rd down, they've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's got the first down as he gets it to the 8. It's a gain of 6 as they're able to convert, and now it's 1st and goal.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through and picking up first downs.
Keeps himself upright. And in the end, the pressure too great, and he goes down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So they get pushed back to the 11, and here's 2nd and goal.
Gone, 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 gone.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Well, they've been so good on 3rd down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal?
Green 39. Green 39. Watch him now, Barney. Barney.
Looking to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. The field goal doesn't help. They're going to go for the 6 here on 4th and goal. On the handoff, this is Howard. And this doesn't end well at all as they stop him far behind the line to gain. They come up short here on 4th down. And that will force a turnover on downs. The Bills getting set to go. Big stop on the turnover on downs to get the football back, and now it's just all about salting this one away.
Yeah, just slowly bleed the clock away. Clock's definitely on your side. And, you know, when we talk about analytics in the game, what is this one? The advanced win metrics? Because if you take care of the football here, bleed the clock down with about 95% chance of winning.
Oh, yeah, I'd say 95 or better. And I know you always say it, every coach does. It's just protecting the football at this point.
And knowing that the defensive guys, they're coming after the ball more than they are the person. They want to knock it free.
Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. And on the ground they go with a running back. And he'll take this one up to about the 13. They get 9 yards back on the run there, and they're left with a much more makeable 3rd and 2. The Bills on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. Here it's 3rd and 2.
Over!
to throw. Wide open receiver complete. He has a first down, and that catch will also put him over 100 yards receiving now on the afternoon. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19.
Check 31, check 31.
Watch him now, Barney. Barney.
Okay, let's get that.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he finally goes down at the 23-yard line. A big play here for the Bills. 46 yards on the ground. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10.
Detroit! Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39. Hot! Hot!
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Flushed out right. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect him to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Lucky 56. No. Check. Patriot. Patriot.
Check.
Leopard. Leopard.
Motion.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he takes it in across the chalk for a Bills touchdown. A great play there. With his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Bills will add on to their lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Houston. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. On the carry, it's Ferguson. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Timmy Jernigan, the Florida State man, in on the stop.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Running again, and again it's Ferguson. Space to maneuver at the 40. And he takes it across the 50 to the 46-yard line. 25 yards the pickup there, and also a 1st down. Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Detroit! Detroit! Gone! Watch him now, Barney!
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. Eluding the pressure right. Now a desperation throw. Man, it's caught inside the 10. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. A huge play there for Houston. 42 yards. They'll try to run down here with Ferguson. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal. Good first step there defensively, but they're still knocking on the doorstep, so maybe another run here?
I think so. One of my favorite coaches, you say, son, If you can darn near lay down near the end zone and get in, give me my best power running play with my best back right now.
Watch it now, Barney. Barney.
Let him know. Slam.
On 3rd and goal, Ferguson. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. Give him 4 yards there, but they're still well short of the goal line with 4th down now looming. And now the Bills are going to stop it as they call a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And here just playing for pride at this point. Down big, but they'll go for it on 4th and goal. They pitch out to Howard. And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. Jordan Howard, his 4th touchdown on the year. And his guys are able to cut into that deficit. Extra point right down the middle. And that will get them one closer. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And now out come the Bills. And it's a unit last drive that did it all on the ground, Charles.
And they controlled it from the interior. Big on big, right? Offensive lineman versus defensive lineman. But, you know, in order to keep the football moving downfield, other people have to get involved as well. Your wide receivers, your tight ends, lead runners, anything that you have possible to get in front and keep the ball moving.
And now the defense may be looking out for a pass coming up. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive game. Just keep that clock ticking.
Back to throw. And that is incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
They'll look to throw here. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 10 yards, good enough for a Buffalo 1st down. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way, it worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
And now we're going to get a timeout. Somewhat pointlessly called with 3 seconds to go in a game that's already been decided. So on trots the field goal unit, and wow, this is going to be a challenge here. This to make it a 3-score game late. And the kick is good. So you wonder how this one might be remembered the next time these 2 teams meet. But until then, this game's over. Well, I know at points in this one you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being put on the scoreboard. You're a defensive guy, but it was a fun little track meet, wasn't it?
It was, and you know the people who really enjoyed this game? They're the ones that like going to batting practice at the Major League Baseball parks, right? Seeing the 14-11 game, that sort of deal. That's right up their alley with what we saw in this one.
So for the Bills, they keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 8-3 on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Indianapolis Colts. Meanwhile, for our visitors, it's a loss that sets them back in their playoff push as they fall to 6-5. And they'll be back home next week for a date with the New York Jets.